Birkenwasser Knits, episode 26. I'm Katriine Birkenwasser, and in this episode I'm going to talk about my latest design, this Punkaharju cardigan that I'm wearing. And I'm also going to show you a couple of other recently finished items and some projects that I'm working on. So pretty much the same outline as in the previous episodes has been as well. But let's start with this Punkaharju cardigan. So this design got started in Punkaharju, that's where the name comes from. Punkaharju is a small town in eastern Finland, and there was a knitting retreat in Punkaharju in February this year. And there were also some yarns for sale at the retreat, and I bought these yarns for this cardigan. So I've been wanting to make a cardigan combining mohair-silk with merino, and so I bought the yarns for a cardigan, and then I started thinking about the design while I was there, and I already started swatching during the retreat. That's when I got the idea for these sleeve details. So the cardigan has this leaf pattern on the sleeves that then kind of turns into the sleeve ribbing. And the same pattern is also repeated here on the hem. So there's the same leaves and then the long ribbing. And it's a rather long cardigan. I wanted to get a comfortable, warm cardigan that's open, so it's easy to wear and combine with anything. And there's some interesting details that came along later along the way. So when I started then thinking how to construct the cardigan, of course I wanted to go from top down and then just do it seamlessly. So the construction starts from the shoulders, and I was thinking of there's always a thing when you just don't have a seam at the shoulder. It can make kind of the garment doesn't have the structure that a seamed garment does. And I was trying to think of how to overcome this problem, and I thought that, well, let's make an I-cord, and it will act as a seam and kind of hold the thing together on the shoulders. And you start by making one long I-cord that goes from one shoulder to the other. And then you pick up stitches for the fronts and the back from the I-cord, and then just work, well, like your regular top-down cardigan. And then for the fronts, there are some eyelets for the increases to create like a v-neck opening for the cardigan. And instead of doing a bottom band, I decided to do facings on the inside of the cardigan, so it looks really neat and tidy on the front, as there are no buttons and there's really no need for bottom bands. And this way you just have the clean look at the front. And after I had made this first, well, it's not a prototype, it's the actual sample. This time I managed to get it right the first time. So I was able to use my first prototype also as the sample for the pattern. But when my mom saw this cardigan, she just fell in love with it, and she said that she wants to have one for her also. And then it was later, I think she called me the same evening and said that don't use all your time to making me one. I can make one for myself, and just give me the pattern and help me out with this. But then I thought it was her birthday coming up. And she also told me that she would like to get a shorter version. So this is like this really long one, and she said she just wants a, let's say, a normal length cardigan. So I thought that, well, why not also give instructions for a normal length cardigan. So I decided to make another sample that was for my mom, and that is the normal length. So when you purchase the pattern, you get instructions for the normal length version and then this longer version. But let's have a look at the normal length version. So that was the normal length, and then of course I had some test knitters. They tried both the longer and the shorter version, and I had some lovely test knitters who, after counting how much yarn they would use for the version they had agreed to make, then they wanted to make one of them made an extra long version. So if you check the project pages for this pattern on Ravelry, you can also check out the wonderful modifications. Another test knitter asked if she could make one with less leaves, so she only wanted to add 1 or 2 leaves around the hem and the sleeves. So I thought that why not, let's see how that would look like, and so you can see Linus version with less leaves also. Yeah, I think that's about it about this design. It's available on Ravelry, so you can purchase it from my Ravelry store. And thanks for all the likes and favorites, and I see many of you have already queued it. I heard some comments from the people who were attending the Punkaharju knit retreat last year or this year, saying that they would like to also knit the cardigan that got started there. So maybe in next year's retreat we can see more Punkaharju cardigans. But at least I hope I will be able to be there and wear my Punkaharju cardigan. Another item that I wanted to show you or talk about that I'm wearing today is this Monisto cowl. And this one I think I showed you. I started this during my trip to Jyväskylä Summer Knit Festival, and I was working on it in Jyväskylä, and then I finished it after getting back home. And I think I mentioned then that the original pattern is for DK weight yarn, so it makes this rather thick cowl that's actually perfect for the weather. Today it's already freezing temperatures in Helsinki, so this cowl is perfect for going outside. But then when you're inside, it's nice to wear a cowl that's not like super hot, but that's still pretty and like a nice accessory. And I think this just turned out perfect for that. So instead of using 2 DK weight yarns like in this original pattern, for this one I used silk mohair and merino single. And I just used the same number of stitches and same number of rows, and just worked it with the same instructions as the original cowl, just with the lighter weight yarn. And if you remember this Monisto cowl, it's a Mobius cast on, so it's like twisted, which I think it makes it easier to put on. So when you want to wear it, it just kind of already turns in a correct direction. Now I have like this double cowl, and actually I even have a third one. This is also in the DK weight yarn, and this is just a shorter version of the cowl. So there are 2 sizes. Also in this pattern there's this small one that you are not that you don't need to twist around your neck, so it's just ready to wear, but it's still twisted with the Mobius cast on, so it has the same idea. And then there's this longer one, and the rights to this pattern have reverted back to me, so you can now purchase also this pattern in my Ravelry store. So it was originally published in a Finnish Taito magazine, so you can get the pattern in Finnish, but it's also available in English from my Ravelry store. 2 sizes in the same pattern. And I have another pattern from Taito magazine. This is from the summer issue of Taito. It's the Tahti wrap. And with this one also the rights have reverted back to me, so you can purchase this one also in my Ravelry store. And it's also available in Finnish and in English. So both language versions you can find on Ravelry. But I think that's enough about my pattern releases, and let's have a look at what I'm knitting at the moment. So this is one of the larger projects that I'm working on at the moment. You might recognize it. It's the Shifty by Andrea Maury, and I'm using Chopel Voile Edition 3 for this one. So my main color is this, well, it's not solid green, but more solid than my contrast colors. So it's kind of a steady green background, and then the 3 contrasting colors. So I'm already on the last contrast, and here you can see all 3 on the sleeves. So I made the sleeves first, so I would know how much yarn I have left. Then for the rest of it, or the hem, or the body and the hem. Yeah, and I hate leftovers of yarn. So what I did is I had 1 ball of the first contrast color, so I just used all of it, and then continued with 2 balls of the red one. I really like the red, so I wanted to use all of that. And now I have this last one, but I only have 1 ball of the main color left, so it means that it might be a rather cropped sweater, which is of course what the pattern calls for, but it's not really my style, so I don't know what I'm gonna do if it ends up being really short. So I might have to just give it to someone else then, but let's see. I know I won't be using all of these 2 balls of the contrast color if I only have 1 ball of the main color left, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with this this type of yarn that doesn't go with anything else. But well, let's see. I'll just give it to my daughter and let her practice her crochet or something else. But anyways, this is a really fun project, especially with the yarns that just I think the pattern really calls for these color shifting yarns, because that's like the fun part. It's always seeing what color comes next, and that just really keeps your interest in the pattern that is rather simple as such, just mosaic knitting with big, I think she calls them blobs, so big blobs and small blobs. And that's it. But it's gonna be a lovely sweater, so I'm looking forward to finishing this one soon. Okay, and then I recently had to cast on another simple project, because I just had to get something that I can knit while I read the newspaper, which I do every day. I'm old-fashioned in the sense that I still get the paper as in paper and not a digital version of the paper. And I want to knit something while I read the paper, so I decided to make a Kaiku wrap. So this is my 3rd Taito magazine pattern. That's also this one has been available in my Ravelry store for longer. So the pattern is originally for a single color. But I think I had one test knitter who wanted to make it striped, and then I had this fade kit that I bought from KVG Woolworks it was some pop-up, I think it was in Kuopio, and I got the contrast color from her as well. This one is called Kissy Kissies, which is a perfect name for the color. And I had been thinking of trying to come up with some idea of what kind of shawl I could make with this fade kit, or actually I mean 2 fade kits and the contrast color. And then I thought that I'm just gonna make this Kaiku wrap. So the Kaiku wrap is made of 2 parts that are then combined in the middle. So I thought I will just have the fade run from one end to the middle and then just have it go the same way towards the other end. So let's see how that goes. I'm slightly starting to worry about this combination of pink and the green, that maybe it's not my color after all. It looked lovely on the skeins, but maybe, well, let's see. And here's a sweater project that I've started, or actually I've been working on it for quite a while, as you can see. I guess you can all recognize the pattern. It's a Breathing Space by Veera Välimäki. I think it's in my series of knit all the super popular designs to see why they are so popular, and yeah, I think it's a fun design to knit, and I hope it will be also as much fun to wear it. I'm using this is Malabrico Mechita that I'm using as the main color, and the contrast color is by King Fiber that I bought from Jyväskylä Summer Knit Festival a couple of years ago. So I finally found the perfect project for that. So I think the speckled yarn works really well with this stripe design. Of course, I was knitting away. I was thinking that you can just continue until like whatever centimeter count from before you reach the hem, and I didn't read the instructions, so I didn't realize that I should have already stopped striping. I think maybe 5-6 centimeters ago. But I decided that I'm just gonna add a little length to the sweater instead of ripping back. So I'm going to have a slightly longer sweater than what the design calls for. But this is now done with the striping, a bit of the hem left, and then Hello Sleeve Island. So that's all for this time. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, so you'll be notified when the next episode is up. Well, let's see what the next episode is going to be about. I think I have quite a few of kids items that I wanted to show you, but there's also the indie design gift along coming up. So let's see which one the next episode is about. Kids or gifts, or both. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.